In 2003, the E46 M3 was already the benchmark. This brochure exists to explain why a customer should pay considerably more for a version with less in it. This is the 2003 BMW M3 CSL, Coupe, Sport, Lightweight. 9,000 examples, built to order, with no radio fitted as standard. The car appears across a full dark spread, silver shot against chain-link fencing. It is a studio photograph pretending to be a car park. The headline, in large white type, "The M3 CSL driver talks about significantly increased lateral dynamic performance. The passenger keeps quiet." Below it, in small body copy, the methodology of development is described without ceremony. Building sports cars means setting the most exacting tests. A non-stop 8,000-kilometre test on the northern loop of the Nürburgring, the green hell. We changed only the drivers and the tyres. 33 left and 40 right bends. Bends that open up and bends that close in on you. Sloping bends, pitching bends, bends preceded by humps, bends followed by humps. You need quick feet and strong arms to handle the northern loop. 33 left bends, 40 right. They list them the way a solicitor reads a will. With its lightweight construction, low centre of gravity, a mere 3.85 kilograms per bhp of power, the M3 CSL is a tour de force of technical innovation and phenomenal performance. The carbon fibre roof, photographed so close it reads as abstract texture, the weave filling the frame edge to edge, with a profile of the car positioned small and silver at the lower left. The headline occupies the right half of the page. Carbon trim is pretty nice. A carbon roof is pretty serious. The body copy below begins to account for every gram. Many sports cars pay homage to Formula One. The M3 CSL has Formula One built in. It's a technological sum of our collected motorsport experience. At this level, it's not enough just to save weight by leaving things out. Innovative lightweight technologies must be used to optimize existing components. The roof, as well as the front and rear apron, are made entirely from carbon fibre reinforced plastic, CFP, as is the door trim and the centre console. The boot is made of glass fibre reinforced Duroplast, and the rear window of thin glass. The loading bay floor is a glass fibre/paper composite tray, and the bucket seats are made of glass fibre reinforced plastic, GFP. Paper. In an €85,000 car, the floor of the boot is partially paper. The brochure mentions this without apology, because the brochure understands that this is correct. That means that weight reductions are made in exactly the right places, resulting in the decrease of angular momentum about the vertical axis, the lowering of the centre of gravity, and the reduction of unsprung masses. The next spread opens with the front of the car, staring directly at the camera and, facing it, the engine, the S54, isolated on a black background. The headline reads, "The bonnet is aluminium. Good news when your friends want to take a third look under it." The facts, to the right. You'll probably want to open the bonnet more than the boot. 3.25 litre 6-cylinder inline, 265 kilowatts, 360 brake horsepower, at 7,900 revolutions per minute. Maximum torque of 370 Newton meters at 4,900 revolutions per minute. At the bottom of the left page, the identifying marks of the M3 CSL, the lightweight aluminium bonnet with power dome, CFP roof, lightweight synthetic boot lid, aerodynamic flaps on the front CFP bumpers, and extra air intake optimized for aerodynamics. Remember them in case you're in the car park rather than the pit. The small footnote reminds the driver to remember the distinguishing marks of the car in case they are in a car park rather than a pit lane. The interior. A wide shot. Anatomically formed bucket seats in glass fibre reinforced plastic, an Alcantara steering wheel, visible CFP surfaces on every panel that might otherwise have been padded for comfort. The SMG gear lever sits on the transmission tunnel. There is no radio visible, because there is no radio. The interior. Not quite Montoya, but very Rearview. A racing atmosphere reigns in the cockpit of the M3 CSL. Most striking are the anatomically formed bucket seats, the Alcantara-trimmed steering wheel, and the visible CFP surfaces. The SMG drive logic paddles on the steering wheel and the metallic gearshift lever on the transmission tunnel are further evidence of the technology at hand. Roberto Rearview was 1987 touring car world champion in his BMW M3. In 1986 and 88, he was European champion, and in 1990, 91 and 93, he was the touring car champion in Italy. He'd be sure to feel at home in this cockpit. The brochure provides Roberto Rearview's full credentials in the body copy beneath the headline for readers who require the reference explained. Juan Pablo Montoya, at the time a BMW Williams Formula One driver, is considered a household name. The following shows a low rear three-quarter view of the car and addresses the transmission directly. Keep your hands on the wheel when you change gear, at least when you're taking a bend at 230 km an hour. The main copy below. When you're accelerating a lot, you have to change gear a lot, but you don't have to let go of the wheel. In the M3 CSL with sequential M gearbox, SMG drive logic, changing gear is done Formula One style, using shift paddles on the steering wheel, without declutching and without taking your foot off the accelerator. It's much safer, and it's faster too. Shifting in program S6 takes up to a mere 80 milliseconds. Shift lights in the cockpit indicate the optimal time to shift, allowing the best use of the engine's power when progressing through the gears. Takes up to a mere 80 milliseconds. Launch control enables rapid acceleration from standstill. Shifts and acceleration are optimized by SMG drive logic as long as the driver holds down the accelerator. M-Track mode achieves the fastest lap times by enabling maximum use of the M3 CSL's awesome longitudinal and lateral dynamic potential, approaching the physical limits. In this mode, the main functions of DSC are maintained on a low level, without losing them entirely. Further benefits of SMG drive logic include selectable programs, automated mode, slip and slope recognition, and context-sensitive shifting that adapt shifting characteristics to the circumstances. A track map, white on black. The Nürburgring, northern loop, 20 kilometers annotated at intervals, the highest point marked at 620 meters. The Grand Prix circuit, the 4.1 kilometer loop, shown smaller and to the left. The headline reads, Formula One on the little loop, Formula M on the big one. On the 4.1 kilometer Grand Prix circuit at the Nürburgring, the BMW Williams Formula One team competes for every valuable second and World Championship point. On the historic 20 kilometer northern loop, we also compete for time, but it's more about gaining experience. We test every BMW M model here under the harshest possible conditions. It's the toughest and most beautiful racetrack in the world, the perfect testbed for high-performance cars bearing the letter M. Anyone familiar with the Northern Loop knows the significance of the names Schwedenkreuz, Fuchsröhre, Bergwerk, Karussell, Pflanzgarten and Galgenkopf. He knows what a lap time of less than 8.5 minutes in the BMW M3 means. In a BMW M3 CSL, it's even possible to fly through in under 8 minutes. High performance like that can only be achieved when every technological detail is combined towards a single end. Under 8 minutes. The brochure has been building to this. It lands here. The car, brake lights on, 4 circular exhausts visible. To the upper left, one word. Finish. Then the specification table. Small type, right-hand column. It will be read in full. Vehicle length, width, height, 4,492 by 1780 by 1369 mm. Wheelbase 2729 mm. Weight unladen, European specification 1460 kg. Permitted load 415 kg. Cylinders and valves 6 and 4. Capacity 3246 cubic centimeters. Maximum output 265 kilowatts, 360 brake horsepower at 7,900 revolutions per minute. Maximum torque 370 newton meters at 4,900 revolutions per minute. Top speed 250 kilometers an hour, electronically limited. Acceleration 0 to 100 4.9 seconds. Fuel consumption EU urban, extra-urban, composite 17.8, 8.4, 11.9 litres per 100 kilometres. 17.8 litres per 100 kilometres, urban. The cost of demonstrating significantly increased lateral dynamic performance in traffic. Carbon dioxide emissions 287 grams per kilometre. The small print beneath notes that the models illustrated show German market specification, that equipment may vary, and that the document is subject to error. This is not a car for which errors are welcome. What the brochure is really selling is a theory of reduction, that every gram removed, every concession unmade, the radio, the sound insulation, the floor that might have been something other than paper, is not an absence but an argument. The argument being that a car is most itself when it has been stripped of everything it does not need. The customer who bought one in 2003 understood this. They were not buying less, they were buying the remainder, after everything unnecessary had been weighed, accounted for, and discarded, and presented to them in 16 pages of very confident prose.